I want to start out with this. Since 2011, the taxpayers of Weiser School District have been so gracious in signing off or blessing off, if better lack of words, on a supplemental levy every 2 years. And we thank you for that. And that's what we're asking for again. We just added a couple items to it, and you'll see what those items are. So, current state of the levy is it expires in June. When the new one passes, it'll start 1 July, and it'll go to 26, 2 years. What's it go for? Well, it goes for, I don't know if you know this or not, but Idaho only pays for half of our kindergarten. And we have full-time kindergarten. We've had full-time kindergarten for 3 years. And this year, we're looking at 100 students. We had 80 come through our roundup, new students, and we always add about 10 or 20 more. So about 100 students for all-day kindergarten. So the supplemental levy has always gone to, and will continue to go towards, paying a half a teacher's salary that the state doesn't pay, a half their supplies, and a half their benefits. It also goes to pay for our student athletes. I know you know this, that we never charge a student athlete to participate in sports. We cover it with the supplemental levy. So transportation costs, coach's salary, and things of that nature. I call that our sports line, if you will. Then we've added 2 things. One, technology equipment upgrade. We are still operating, ladies and gentlemen, on 1960s, 1970s technology. We have a microwave shot right now about a big thing on the high school that gets shot line of sight back to our provider. We've got to improve. We have more students, we have more computers, we've got to take a step in increasing and improving our infrastructure for our technology stuff. So that's what that is. And then here is the thing that people are asking about, and rightfully so, and we'll get into it. The new track and the field house. And just to, you've probably seen the flyer out there. It's on our website. It's all over everywhere. There's a pie chart. This just depicts what the pie chart says. $130,000 for all-day kindergarten, $162,000 for our athletic line, $58,000 for those technology upgrades we discussed, and then $400,000 for the new track. Now remember, it's $750,000 for 2 years, or $1.5 million for both years, for 2 years. So quite. It's $750,000 for 2 years, or $1.5 million overall. $750,000 times 2, $1.5 million. Yes, sir.
And that last slide was for the each year. So the track is actually going to cost between $800,000 to $1 million.
To $1 million. Yeah.
So it's that's why that levy got added to there, and the salaries and benefits are, we have 5 kindergarten teachers and the school services for 2.5. They fund us for 2.5, but we have 5. So that's what that's talking about.
Great question, thank you. Why a new track? Well, 7 years ago, the track doctor said, you have 5 years before you need a new track. We're already pushing that by 2 years, you can see it's 7 years. So right now, our track is unserviceable and dangerous. In fact, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now probably, a patron, much like yourself, was out there walking and she fell down, scratched up her arms and her legs because it's unserviceable. And I'll show you pictures in a minute. This affects right now more than 150 student athletes. However, it also affects many community members, and also affects other entities that come and partake of the events on our track. Or not this year, because bottom bullet says there was no track meets this year, and for the foreseeable future, unless we get a new track. So what happens when we've budgeted on our students having track meets at home? Well, if they have to go to a different school, that's increased transportation costs, and it's a loss of learning time because now they have to get out of class earlier. And thank goodness for Dr. Croft over at Payette School District, who hosted our track meets this year. And I called and told him, I said, thank you for that. That's awful admirable of you. But see who it affects. Our high school, our middle school, other local school district, Cambridge, Midvale, they come down and they have, we host for them. So they've had to go to Payette as well. And then the bottom line is this, or another bullet is this. Practice is down to 2 lanes, and we have 8. And we can only practice on wearing tennis shoes because no spikes, because they'll fall down, they'll fall over, they'll step in holes and divots, and you'll see the pictures in just a second. So why a new track? Well, we need a whole new base. We need to go in there and we need to dig everything out, because right now It's sitting on cinder, and stuff is over the years it's just deteriorated. So we have to get a whole new track from the ground up. We have to dig down and redo everything, including our sprinkler systems, because I'll show you pictures in a minute where our sprinkler systems have water on the track, and I call it a puffed up area. And you can't run on a puffed up area or even walk on it, as you know, because it's dangerous. The last thing, goalposts. Right now, our goalposts for our practice field are, to me, they look like rugby posts. We don't play rugby, we play football. So we'd like to look at getting some new goalposts for our practice field for our football team. Usage is high, we just discussed that. Different schools use our track as well as us. And I didn't update this slide, but we are now a 4A high school. What does that mean? It means more students. It means stiffer competition. And a 4A high school needs a serviceable track to be competitive. So here's some pictures. Holes, divots, cracks across all 8 lanes, just not 4, across all 8 lanes. There's the, kind of maybe hard to see in the back. There's the puffed up area. You can't run on a puffed up area. You'll trip. You'll fall down. There's again cracks across all 8 lanes. Here's more puffed up areas. But here's a patron I took a picture of that's out there walking his dog. His dog's up there somewhere. I don't know, but wow, tough crowd. This is the 4th time I said that. I usually get a laugh out of that. Come on. Thank you. All right. So everybody uses it. Bottom line. Okay. Again, puffed up areas, cracks across all 8 lanes, Again, puffed up areas, cracks. This is the biggest thing. It's where our starting blocks are, where they start everything and they 100, where they run, they sprint. That's it. That's the holes that are there. Here's the big cracks that are there, and again, cracks across all 8 lanes. And ladies and gentlemen, this goes across the whole track, just not one section. It's all the way around the track. So, we'll get back to the track in a minute, but that's the quick brief about the track, why we need a new track. Need, not just want. Why a field house? Well, have you ever been to a ball game out there? Soccer game, softball game, and you had to use a porta-john? Is that what they're called? Porta-johns, I call them other things, but porta-john? That's not good for anybody. This is 2020, almost 25. It's not 1960 anymore. Believe me, I spent 25 years using a porta-john in the military. It's bad for all of us. And right now, concessions, we cook burgers outside. We can do better than that. So we have an idea of putting the concessions in the field house. It's a dedicated cheerleader practice area. I don't know if you know this, but right now they practice late at night or early in the morning. And as you know, they've won 16 SRB championships and I think a couple state championships. We got to help them out a little bit. We got to throw them a bone. So that's what we have, dedicated cheerleader practice area. And this is the best bullet this is the best bullet here, and I'll tell you why. You know where those batting cages are right now? Right outside my office, in the armory. So never fails. Ding, 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 ding. Which is fine, but batting cages are going to go in there too. Which thank you. And other amenities: track, golf, tennis. We're thinking about getting some AstroTurf-ish, so that people can go in there and they can practice some stuff. If it's inclement weather, take their whole team in there and run some drills or something. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not a coach right now, but that's what we're looking at, making it appeasable for all of our teams. So where's it going to go? Great question. Back of the softball field, over to in front of the scoreboard, and we're thinking about taking that scoreboard down or getting a new scoreboard and sticking it up on the side of the field house, so everybody over here will be able to see what's going on with the score. But because that right now the building is going to block where the scoreboard presently is. So again, thank you, and for your continued support and support of our school district. I'll go over the quick numbers with you, and then I'll open it up for questions. So I know that. Let's go with this first. House Bill 292. Now I know last year you remember that bill because it was a property tax decrease. You remember that? To the tune of 500,000 ish. Well, we're going to get it again this year. It's going to be about 424,000 guesstimated. We won't know exactly until 1 July, but there is some silver lining in this situation. So we are going to get some tax relief, just like last year, but it won't be as much. With that said, we're looking at 424,000 guesstimate.
That's year to year, right?
is.
I mean, it's not continuing.
Yes.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir, but where it comes
It's
from.
just gonna be for 1 year.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, comma, you know where it comes from, it's Governor Little's, how you catch so much
I don't-
money.
I don't-
Okay, all right, so, yeah. Well, it's been 2 years good, it's been 2 years to the good for us, so.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you've heard about the $6 million floating around, yes?
No.
No? Okay, well, it's
I
not,
know there's $150 million that Governor Little signed to help out for repairs and
bingo.
improvements.
This is our portion.
Okay.
We get, well, it's down to 5.9 million now, but this is our portion. Now, this comes with some things attached to it. We can only use it for, and I love this word, we can only use it for SOBs. I thought she was cussing at me until I figured out what it meant. It means student occupied buildings, right?
Exactly.
So you ask yourself, is a track an SOB? The answer would be east and west. We can't use it for that, for a new track. We can only use it for maintenance of our buildings we have now, adding on to our buildings we have now, and remodeling the buildings we have now. So if you ask yourself, why don't you just build a new school? I'd love to, but then I'll ask somebody, I'll ask anybody, how much does a new school cost right now? A new high school costs about $80 million. How much are you getting? 6. What's that going to do? Well, we're going to be good stewards of it, and we're going to take it all up front, and then we're going to put it in a bank account and draw interest from it. There's 2 options for all that money. Either you take it up front, do what I just said, or you schedule it out for 10 years. You get a little bit each year. But if you get a little bit each year, you're subject to different rules. If we take it up front, we're not subject to the rules that they're subject to. You take it every 10 years. So if you ask yourself, how old are your buildings? I'm glad you asked me. Park was built in 1951. Pioneer was built in 1951. The middle school was built in 1980, but their gym was built in 1932. And the high school was built in 1968. So with that said, we have an excellent maintenance team, we have an excellent lawns team that takes care of our buildings and our lawns. We are really good stewards of the stuff we have. But you know as good as I do, you can only put lipstick on a pig for so long. It's still a pig, you know what I'm saying? So there's going to come a time where we're going to have to build something new. Because people are coming. There are 5 new students we got from the new housing complex, and they're getting ready to break ground on phase 2. We drove by there yesterday, new houses everywhere by the high school. So they're coming. We just got to try to get in front of it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll leave you with this. This is from Representative Mike Moyle in reference to House Bill 521, which is the maintenance money. He says this: this legislation reduces income taxes from 5.8. I'm sorry, it's the other one about the income tax. 5.8 to 5.69, allowing Idahoans to have more money to better support local bonds and levies related to school facilities. Just a messenger. That's what he said, though.